Hi guys, Eclectic Impromptus. Happy Tuesday. Hope you're having a good day so far. So, I've been watching some YouTube videos lately, and in some cases, it involves people wanting to stay to themselves and they don't want to get out in society and talk or connect with people, and they just want to stay to themselves. And they also complain that other people seem to be a lot more cold and disconnected than it used to be. Something I've noticed, it does seem to be the case, actually. There's true, I'm not saying it's 100% true necessarily, and not everybody's like that, but it does seem like that. Um, if you're somebody like me who's curious about the world and want to share all sorts of information you've learned, and you got people only caring about talking about other people and not other ideas, I deal with that a lot. It's a real pain in the butt, if you want my honest opinion, having to deal with that. And it's draining, not to mention. Yeah, or it seems like they're cordial, but it's because they want something from you. It's not a genuine, let's just talk, whether it's about ideas or just everyday life and it's in a positive light. It's usually either they just want to complain about somebody else or it's because they want something. It could be car rides, gas money, cigarettes, you name it. I mean, I vape, but I don't smoke, but you get the general idea. And I mean, it could be, you could ask an innocuous question to somebody, or you share a and a genuine concern, and they give you an attitude or they get snappy. It's happening to me quite a bit lately. It doesn't matter where. I'm not trying to attack everybody that I come across in real life, but it just seems like this is becoming a common trend. Um, and some people claim that it's been going on since the pandemic happened, and people have become a lot more detached from others. And personally, I think it's happened as even beforehand. I mean, I've dealt with this ever since I was growing up in the '80s, but it seems like it's kind of gotten more so. I would say 2010s, like mid to late 2010s, is when it's just like, what's the point? I mean, if people want to ask me something or come up to me about something, provided it's not like they only need something or they want to trash talk somebody else, I'm okay with it and pretty cool. And if I don't know the answer, I can always look it up and tell them later or suggest to Google it. I get that a lot too, actually. Whenever I ask a question, oh, why don't you Google it? Yeah, maybe from now on, maybe that's something I should do. And it's starting to get in the habit of doing that. But if I didn't know the answer, I would at least kindly suggest Googling it, or I'll Google it myself and tell them. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. But I guess for those, since we're living in a very colder, detached society than we used to, then this is coming from me. And I'm sure there's others that agree with me. There's some possible alternatives. If you like to write, for example, journaling is a great way to do this. If you journal, it's like you're processing, and sometimes you might come up with your own answers. Let's see what else. Art, you could also express, if you're interested in something like, I'm going to use astrotheology. I've become interested in this within the past however many months, right before I started this channel, actually. You could do an art piece on astrotheology, or, maybe something musical or writing related. I mean, the world's your oyster on that. Of course, Googling, YouTubing. It seems like a lot of people are starting to resort to going to Google AI or YouTubing. Those are always options. And another option, I've recently found this out. I've heard a lot about this particular app, ChatGPT. I know a lot of people frown upon that, but sometimes it gives you some really good insight. I mean, of course, you don't want to plagiarize those ideas, or like if you're in an English class and you have to write an essay, I would recommend not using ChatGPT just because you don't want to get in trouble for plagiarism or whatever. Or whatever else that could be. But it's an idea. It helps you get insight. I've had a really rough day today. Last night I had a dream about two of my rabbits that passed Marzipan and Pikachu. I've done a few tribute videos, and it kind of upset me and was a little unsettling. But I ended up talking with, or doing the Chat GPT thing a little bit today, and it kind of helped you could do like art ideas or tributes and stuff. So it kind of taught me that a little bit. So that was cool. And, it taught me some other stuff, which I won't get into in this video, but, I mean, I would say don't rely on ChatGPT 100%. And, if you're in school taking classes, I probably would recommend using caution. I don't want to encourage you guys to do something and then you get in trouble or something. But, if you need a little insight, it doesn't hurt to try. But, don't be shy about considering other options too, of course. But those are the main ideas I've come to mind. I had to get some of this off my chest, and it's been a little bit of a rough morning. Missing my rabbits. I had a dream about them and kind of missed them, and guess I also had to express that on here. And if you're also looking for interesting stuff, or you find some interesting stuff you want to share it with somebody else, I would recommend starting a YouTube channel and sharing about that, because it seems like you approach somebody, a lot of people just don't care, and I think they're just trying to live their lives, and they're trying to protect themselves because they've been hurt in the past. I've heard about that too, and speaking from experience, I can understand that completely. But don't be afraid to start a YouTube channel. It can be a slow process. It's not an overnight process where you all of a sudden have 1,000+ subscribers, but it's an outlet that you can always use, and it's fun, and that's something I would also recommend too. But not sure what else there is to talk about, and I know I have to go to work in a little bit, so if you like this video, feel free to click like, subscribe, and share. If you feel the need to share this, especially to somebody who might need to hear this, feel free to do that. And hope you guys have a good night, and I will talk to you soon. All right, bye-bye.